Cześć, witam Cię bardzo serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku ze Starfielda. Zostaw kciuka, subskrypcję, dzwoneczek i kontynuujemy naszego questa dla Zjednoczonych Kolonii na pomoc diabłom porozmawiać z Loe.
Yeah? Did you now? Fine work. My end of the bargain then, I suppose. He's holed up in the old Red Devil's HQ. Place was sealed up tight after the UC shuttered our unit, but we snuck him in the back entrance through the deep mines. Was also going to warn you about spacers down there, but it sounds like you might have already tossed those dregs. Here, the passkey. And I'll let him know there's someone he owes one hell of a thank you on their way down.
Dobra. Dostaliśmy klucz do jakiegoś magazynu odpadów, tam było napisane, dobrze widziałem? Zaraz zobaczymy, gdzie to nas doprowadzi, możemy go znaleźć. W każdym razie, aha, my mamy wyjść stąd, tak? Chyba tak, dobra, to się tepnijmy, będzie szybciej. Aha, i teraz mam... Dobra, to już wiem, który to jest. To jest to miejsce, do którego przed chwilą wchodziliśmy w poprzednim odcinku. I tam do tych drzwi musimy się teraz udać. I oni się pewnie ponownie porespawnowali, mimo tego, że byliśmy tutaj chwilę temu, nie? Mimo tego, że chyba ta kopalnia jest już zwiedzona na 100%, oprócz tego jednego miejsca, w którym oni siedzą. A nie mogę teraz się przełączyć na mapę powierzchni jakby. No dobra, nie porespawnowali się. Chociaż tyle. Ciekawe, gdzie był ten pierdzielnik do zebrania. A możliwe, że ja go w sumie zebrałem. Że ja zebrałem już to... ten minerał, tylko że nie był on tutaj dostępny, bo... no zostawiłem go pewnie w szafce, nie? Czego ty się tu złapałaś? Bo jak żeśmy byli tutaj ostatnio, to żeśmy to przeszukali już wszystko. Wtedy. Dobra, tam były te drzwi, do których w ostatnim odcinku też podszedłem. No i oczywiście się okazuje, że tam mogę wejść tylko dlatego, że mamy już klucz do questa. Czyli tak jak podejrzewałem, że tak czy inaczej będę tu jeszcze wracał. No właśnie. Dobra. Tu nie byłem, więc tu będziemy zwiedzać i eksplorować wszystko. Tu chyba nic nie ma nawet do eksplorowania aktualnie. Na razie jest prosta droga do tego ziomeczka. Zapiszę i zejdę. A tu nic nie ma. Można przejść pewnie szybciej. Że dałoby się przeskoczyć na upartego. Tu nic nie ma nawet do zbierania, żadnych surowców, nic takiego. Niezła miejscowa.
Massive structure in this cavern must have been quite a feat. I suppose it was a bit like building a ship in a bottle.
No. Coś w tym jest. To prawda. A co jeżeli najpierw budują statek, a potem kładą na nim butelkę? Co teraz, kurwa, powiesz, Saro? Twoja teoria właśnie poszła się jebać. Może najpierw robi się statek, a potem na nim butelkę. A nie najpierw butelkę, a potem statek. Nie może tak być?
So you must be the one who got me out of the red with the trade authority. Can't say I don't appreciate it, but I doubt you came all this way just to do me a favor. Now you want to explain to me why you're going around harassing nefarious old men by wiping away their hard-earned debts? Tissue sample? You came all the way down here for that? Must be some damn important cells. You want to tell me what I'm about to be staring at? A fast-growing pteromorph. That is concerning. Who exactly told you to bring this to me? Hadrian. She gave you this? If she made you come all the way for this... Let's get inside. I need to see these cells.
No, nakazała. A ty się kurna ukrywasz w jakichś jaskiniach, typie. Na Marsie.
Gonna ask you to not touch anything. Got some projects in the works down here. I wasn't expecting guests.
Za późno.
Oh, Lou mentioned how you took care of the dead. Just be.
To niezła winda na powierzchnię Marsa. Niezłe laboratorium tu musisz mieć, byku. Dobra, dajcie mi komiks, come on, no przecież tyle już czasu eksploruję różne miejsca i nie miałem żadnego komiksu. Kurwa, jakie to laboratorium jest wielkie, chłopie. Tu sam pracujesz? No. Rakiety statku na stałe powodują o 5% więcej uszkodzeń. W końcu. Jakiś komiks dostałem. Już myślałem, że nie znajdę. To ile warte w ogóle? Masz tu stanowisko, byku, od usuwania celownika. To by się przydało, nie powiem, że nie. Dobra, jeszcze pozwól, że ci zwiedzę tą stronę.
Entertaining the notion of xeno warfare angers me to the core.
Tu już raczej nic nie ma. Dobra, idźmy z nim pogadać.
Adrian really gave you this sample. You're not lying to me? Because if you told me this was a hoax, and it'd be the best damn fake I've ever seen, I'd be mad and very, very relieved. Can't just humor an old man, huh? This sample, it's got all the indicators of the worst terramorph attack in human history. I presume you've heard of Londinian. And for good reason. The swarms are so bad, they had to blow the spaceport and seal the place off from the galaxy at large. Not a lot of samples made it off the world from the time of the attack, but the ones that did, well, they look just like this one. I didn't detect any of the telltale signatures this specimen ever sat on a ship while it was alive, either. I don't think it was transported to Tal Ceti. This specimen, it grew there, faster than any terramorph should. Which means, if we're about to start a new era in human-terramorph relations, where big, sudden Londinian-style attacks can happen outside Londinian, that's not gonna end well for humanity.
It would be the end of us as a species.
So, you lugged this bad omen all the way here. You want to tell me what your plans are for it now? Because until now, the terramorphs that wiped out Londinian had the good sense to stay put. What happened there? It was a tragedy, but at least it was contained. So to find evidence for a similar attack on a different world, well, we don't have enough information to know precisely what this means. But I doubt it's good. So I'd love to know what it is you're planning from here. Music to my ears. Here, faster we take the lift to the surface. Not supposed to use it, but given the circumstances, I'm inclined to just ask forgiveness. Let's get going.
No dobra, to dawaj ze mną. Tamtą windą, co żebym już znalazł tą przed chwilą. Mam nadzieję, że się sam stamtąd wydostaniesz po teleportacji. Będzie szybciej oczywiście. No okej. Szkoda, że nie zrobili tego teleportu jakby już do środka tego budynku. Tak to trzeba tutaj jeszcze z 2 sekundy tracić na wczytywanie tej lokalizacji. Tu by mógłby się człowiek pojawić od razu na zewnątrz.
User not found in database.
Is that really her? Adrian.
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hatchling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say,
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back.
Kumpla twojego przyprowadziłem, ciesz się.
Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
makes 2 of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble. That's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old Terramorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the Cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on 2 conditions. 1, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And 2, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti. With both of us. Well, when the colony war came to a close 19 years ago, with the signing of the armistice, 3 factions were involved in the negotiations. The UC, Freestar, and House Varun. They made a lot of decisions about what sort of tactics should and shouldn't be permitted in future conflicts. All information related to the things they decided should be banned was locked away in the archives. Now, it's possible to get things out of there, but only with the agreement of members from all 3 factions. And as to what our research is doing in there, well, I'll get to that. The Cabinet's the UC's highest governing body. The President, top military brass, scientific and diplomatic division heads. Any major decision the UC makes goes through them. They're the only real chance we've got of unlocking the archives. So without their blessing, we're flying blind. It can be a daunting experience. Which is why I wanted to make sure, before you agreed to anything, we gave you the whole truth. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done. No, we were both dismissed after the war for what we did. These days, we're just concerned citizens with a very particular area of expertise. Our damage has been done for a long time. Oh, you already knew. I'm sorry about that. It didn't seem relevant in the moment, and well, it's not something I'm exactly proud of. But it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying terramorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the colony war. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it. Because the Terramorph project was doomed from the start. Terramorphs are too mean, too smart, too hungry to be used in combat. Trust us, we tried. The data that's in the archives, it's historical write-ups, anatomical notation, food chain analyses. I doubt they would have even classified it if it didn't have a xeno-warfare logo on it. You have my word. It's not a threat. I mean, I hope they will, given the evidence we've acquired. But getting the Freestar Collective and House Varun on our side, that won't be easy.
Since neither group is exactly on great terms with the UC at the moment, for various reasons.
Exactly. It's going to mean negotiations and deals and plenty of diplomatic legwork to see this through. But I don't see a better option to solving what's going on here. So it's gonna be up to us to get them on board. All right. I'm gonna go get this work up into the cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
No dobra. Czyli co, do Nowej Atlantydy? Ja coś mogę ci odpylić? A, są tu jakieś pierdoły. Ogólnie to sprzedałem wszystko i zostawiłem tylko te dwie rzeczy już jakiś czas temu. Stwierdziłem, że jest mi to totalnie niepotrzebne. Dobra, no mamy lecieć na Nową Atlantydę, więc od razu sobie kliknijmy ustal kurs do dzielnicy NATO. Tyk, wyląduj. To będziemy się męczyć z chodzeniem, jak możemy się szybką podróżą przemieściać po całej galaktyce. To jest kurde teleportacja, a nie jakieś przerzucanie kurwa ciapatych przez granicę z Białorusią.
Captain! Over here!
Siemano.
The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus, woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin, a title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. I'm the last. A few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. Training accidents and the like. But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the Colony War, and they never came back. Not a day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like with them still in it. A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels. But there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked. He would have happily told you he was one of the greats. Ultimately, though, it didn't matter. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned. He had his men open fire on civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne. A battle that he ultimately ended up losing anyway, devastating the UC fleet and bringing the Colony War to an ugly end for the UC. But he's also the one who ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport during their outbreak, condemning countless lives. Both sides agreed the settled systems would be better without him. Well, my areas of expertise are pretty specific, but messed up families are up there. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here. That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars. The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. Folks used to adversity. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye included. Where the name Red Devils came from in the first place. It became an unwritten rite of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the Devils had to do a stint in the mines before they could join up. The Devils were always talked about in such revered tones during my training, so as soon as I was old enough, I signed up. And the eyes were my parting gift. I mean, we never spent a lot of time together. He was too busy being fleet admiral to deal with kids. I was raised by a pair of guardians instead. Until his defeat during the Colony War, though, he was known as an extremely effective commander. Savvy. Perceptive. That mind opened a lot of doors for him. And for me, too. But Victus, for all his ability, was heartless. Ruthless to a fault. In the end, that's what cost him his life. Well, thinking about it more, I suspect there'd be value in sharing the fact that the Terramorph project was, well, a failure. There's no need to be afraid of this data being weaponized. Knowing that should calm some of the cabinet's fears and make it easier for us to dispel any suspicions the other factions might have about our intentions. Eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terramorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they aren't xenoweapons. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself isn't dangerous, which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise. Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
No dobra, idziemy do sali.
Ah, Captain. Congratulations. On joining
Sala, dobra, rządowa. Połowy gry Bethesdy. Dobra, ale jak tu wejdę, to czuję, że się od razu odpali opcja dialogowa, a że mamy niecałą minutkę do końca odcinka, więc zakończymy sobie teraz. Dzięki serdeczne za oglądanie, zostaw kciuka, subskrypcję, dzwoneczek i kontynuować tego questa będziemy już w kolejnym odcinku. Miłego popołudnia, cześć!